Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Extreme Rules pay-per-view results. 2017 Extreme Rules Kickoff pre-show opened up from the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, with Renee Young welcoming us to the show. She joined in by Sam Roberts and returning David Otunga. They talked about the show and sent us to a video package for tonight's WWE Intercontinental title match. Renee wants predictions, but Sam wants to know who she is going for, and she obviously picks her husband to win. Otunga goes with Ambrose to retain, but Sam goes with Miz. We also got a look at Charlie Caruso in the social media lounge earlier. She will be joined by Raw Tag Team Champions the Hardys later on. Back for the break, Renee led us to a video package for tonight's Raw Women's Title match. We'll come back and Nia Jax has joined the panel. Nia believes Alexa Bliss will retain tonight and says Bayley needs a miracle to win. Nia later mentioned how she and Bliss have talked about Nia getting a title shot after tonight. She says it doesn't matter who wins tonight because they're going to just keep the title warm for her. We'll come back from a break and get a video for tonight's Cruiserweight title match. Otunga and Roberts both believe Neville will retain. The panel talked to Rich Swann and Sasha Banks versus Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. We take another break and come back to Charlie in the social media lounge with Raw Tag Team Champions. The Hardys comment on beginning their careers with WWE, and now they're back to end them here. Regarding why they picked their ladder match stipulation, Matt says they beat Cesaro and Sheamus in a ladder match at WrestleMania 33 and then a regular match at Payback. Jeff teased a big swanton bomb off the cage tonight. Matt says that they will end the feud tonight and move on to the next challengers. Jeff says if it doesn't happen for Cesaro and Sheamus tonight, it won't happen. Matt promised a crazy night. We go back to the panel and they send us to the ring for a match. And that match is Callisto versus Apollo Crews. We go to the ring. Michael Coleslaw is joined in by Corey Graves and Hall of Famer Booker T. Callisto hits the ring first. Apollo Crews is out next with Titus O'Neil. They lock up and Crews quickly takes Callisto down. Callisto comes back with an arm drag. A Lucha chant starts as Titus gives Crews some advice. They go at it again, and Crews takes control, but Callisto comes right back. They face off and lock up again. They trade holds now. They run the ropes. Crews nails a drop kick for a 2 count. Crews keeps control, but Callisto comes back and sends him flying with a head scissor. Callisto stands tall as Crews goes to the floor for a breather. Callisto then launches himself to the apron and then onto Crews on the floor. And then Callisto goes for another big move off the ropes and the apron, but Crews kicks him out of midair. Titus encourages Crews to return to the ring while Callisto is down. We go to commercial. Back for the break. Crews remains in control. Crews keeps Callisto grounded. Callisto slid out of a move and rolls Crews up for a 2 count. Crews comes right back with a clothesline for a 2 count. Then Crews keeps Callisto grounded again. Callisto fights up and out with kicks. And then Callisto gets a roll up for a 2 count. Crews dropped Callisto with an elbow and a covered for a pin attempt. Callisto eventually nailed his corkscrew to make it come back. And then planted Crews face first and covered him for a 2 count. Titus yelled at Crews to get up and do something. So Lita del Sol is blocked. Callisto countered a suplex for a 2 count. And then Callisto nails some kicks. Counters and scoops him. Crews countered and scooped him, but Callisto comes right back with a big DDT for a 2 count. Titus can't believe it. Callisto calls for a Lucha chant from the crowd. Callisto springboards in, but Crews turns it into a Samoan drop. Crews finally stumbles over and hits the standing shooting star press, but Callisto kicks out at 2. Titus got on the apron and barked orders at Crews. Crews came over and argued with him. Callisto took advantage of the distraction and hits Salida del Sol for the win. After the match, Callisto made his exit as Titus checked on Cruz in the ring. We go to replays. Callisto celebrates on the stage while Cruz and Titus argue in the middle of the ring. We go back to the panel and they plug the WWE Network. Renee led us to a video package for tonight's Fatal 5-Way main event, as the crowd is already doing dueling chants for Roman Reigns. Back from the break, Raw General Manager Kurt Angle has joined the panel. The WWE Hall of Famer says tonight's main event could change the new era. He says the winner could very well go on to defeat Brock Lesnar after defeating 4 of the top superstars tonight. Otungo predicted that Bray Wyatt will win, while Angle goes with Samoa Joe and Sam picks Seth Rollins. That's it for the pre-show. Pay-per-view opens up with a video package. We're live from the sold-out Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, as Michael Colesaw welcomes us. He's joined in by Corey Graves and WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. Didn't get to see much of the pay-per-view itself. Many of the feed and the internet kept going in and out. What have you. This is why we're getting a late results video uploaded. The Intercontinental title match started off the show. Miz versus Dean Ambrose. We go to the ring. Out comes Miz with Maurice as JoJo makes the introductions. Out next comes Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose, who will lose the title if he is disqualified. The bell rings and they go at it. Ambrose takes Miz down first and then drops him on the shoulder. Back and forth. Miz tried to use the rules to cheat, but Ambrose gets upset. Ambrose tries to unload in the corner, but the referee backs him off and warns him. Ambrose unloads with chops now. Ambrose with a spinning elbow and then a clothesline and sends Miz over the top. Ambrose runs the ropes and hits the suicide dive in from the German announce table. Ambrose sends Miz into the barrier next. Ambrose ducks a shot and rams Miz into the apron. Ambrose then breaks the count and goes back to Miz. Ambrose picks up a steel chair, but the referee stops him. Miz takes advantage of the distraction and drops Ambrose with a boot. Miz tries to use a chair while Maurice has the referee distracted. Ambrose drops him and picks up the chair, but the referee sees him and warns him. They trade shots on the floor and Ambrose brings him back into the ring. Miz ends up dropping Ambrose into the apron with a DDT. Then Miz rolled Ambrose back in for a 2 count. More back and forth between the two. Inside the ring, Miz dropped Ambrose for a 2 count. Miz keeps control and worked Ambrose around. Ambrose fought out of a hold and then kicks, but Miz pulled him to the mat by his hair. Referee warned Miz. Miz keeps control and stands tall as the fans boo him. Miz with a running drop kick in the corner and then another. Miz nails a third corner drop kick, but Ambrose is still standing. Miz with the corner clothesline and Ambrose goes down. Miz goes up top, but Ambrose kicks him on the way down. Miz blocks dirty deeds. Ambrose blocks skull crushing finale. Ambrose knocks Miz out of the ring with a forearm, knocking him from the top to the floor. Ambrose goes to the top and nails a big elbow drop to the floor. The referee counts. Ambrose brings it right back into the ring. Ambrose with some momentum now. Ambrose with a fisherman suplex for a 2 count. Maurice cheers Miz on. From outside the ring, Ambrose goes on, but Miz blocks the bulldog. Ambrose rolls Miz up for a 2 count, and then Ambrose with a swinging neckbreaker for another pin attempt. Dueling chants from the crowd. Ambrose goes to the top, but has to land on his feet. Ambrose sells a knee injury. Miz takes advantage and hits the leg with the knees and kicks. More back and forth. As Miz gets the figure 4 applied in the middle of the ring. Ambrose finally makes it to the bottom rope to escape the hold, but it's finally broken. Miz takes the leg out and goes for another figure 4, but Ambrose rolls him up for a 2 count. Ambrose ends up on the top again. Miz crotches him. More dueling chants from the crowd. Miz climbs up for a superplex, but Ambrose blocks it. Ambrose headbutts and stuns him. Ambrose slides down and goes for a powerbomb. Miz held on and pulled the turnbuckle cover off. Ambrose almost puts Miz into the steel, but stops so he won't get disqualified. Miz nails a drop kick for a 2 count. Miz with the yes chant kicks, and the crowd goes along with no. Ambrose catches the final kick and sweeps Miz. Ambrose locks in a figure four of his own in the middle of the ring. Ambrose ends up blocking a skull crushing finale for a roll up after the hold was broken. And they go back and forth in the middle of the ring. Maurice is on the apron for a distraction. Miz blocks Dirty Deeds. Both superstars almost run into Maurice at the same time. Miz begs her to slap him. She does. The referee sees it, but he says he knows what Maurice is trying to do. The referee sends Maurice to the back. Miz argues with the referee. Ambrose rolls him up from behind for the win. Miz goes on to shove Ambrose into the referee. The referee falls out of the ring. The referee argues with Ambrose, saying he hit him. Ambrose pleads with the referee. Miz comes from behind and hits skull crushing finale. The referee runs back into the ring and counts the pinfall. But it says the reporter said that Ambrose rolled him up from behind for the win. Okay. Winner, new Intercontinental Champion, Miz. After the match, Miz hits stage as he's handed the title. Maurice joins him to celebrate as we go to replays. Charlie Caruso is backstage with Bayley for comments on tonight's kendo stick on a pole match. She's been watching guys like Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman, even some Steve Blackman. She also watched Wonder Woman this weekend and was inspired. Bayley doesn't want to hurt, but she's willing to do what it takes to get Alexa Bliss back and regain the title. As she walks off. Rich Swann and Sasha Banks versus Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. We go to the ring. Out comes Alicia and Noam for this mixed tag match. Hometown star Rich Swann was out next, followed by Sasha Banks as we see some of the international announce teams in the arena. Sasha looks to start off, but the action picks up with Swann and Dar. Sasha comes in and waits for Fox. They start brawling. Sasha ends up going to the bank statement but Dar provides an assist with the rope, and the hold must be broken. Alicia comes back and drops Sasha. She keeps control and catches Sasha in a backbreaker for a 2 count. Fox keeps Sasha grounded. Then Sasha tried to make a comeback, but Fox dropped her. Sasha finally gets a tag as Dar also comes in. They go at it, but Swann gets the upper hand. Swann with a shot to the back of the neck for a 2 count. Dar countered with a 2 count of his own. They collide with clotheslines before trading shots in the middle of the ring. Dar blocked a kick and nailed an uppercut. Swann dropped Dar with a kick to the face out of nowhere. Fox and Sasha come back into the ring. They brawl out to the floor. Sasha rams Fox into the apron and she goes down. Swann and Dar also go at it on the floor. Sasha goes to the top as Fox slowly gets up on the floor, but Dar gets in the way. Sasha nails double knees to Dar and Fox on the floor. Dar is brought back in the ring. Swann hits his Phoenix Splash for the win. So Sasha and Rich Swann come out winners. After the match, Sasha and Swann celebrate as we go to replays. Fox and Dar leave while the dancing continues. Back from the break, JoJo introduces Elias Sampson. He's in the ring with a spotlight and his guitar. He introduces himself and has one question. Who wants to walk with Elias? Fans boo as he starts singing a song about extreme rules and how bad Baltimore is. That's it. And that's what leads us to a video package for tonight's Raw Women's title match. Kendo stick on a pole match for the Raw Women's title. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. We go to the ring. Out comes Bayley. There's a kendo stick hanging on a pole in one of the corners. Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss was out next. We get formal ring introductions from JoJo. Bell rings and Bliss mocks Bayley, taunting her to get the kendo stick. Bliss takes Bayley down. Bayley comes back to take control and covers for a pin attempt. Bayley goes for the stick, but Bliss decks her with the right hand, sending Bayley to the floor. They both climb for the kendo stick now. Trade shots on the top. Bailey grabs a stick, but it falls to the mat as they both fall to the floor. Bliss strikes first, but Bailey ends up suplexing her on the floor. Bailey rushed in the ring to get the kendo stick. Bailey chased Bliss around the ring with the kendo stick. They go back in, and Bliss backs into the corner, pleading with Bailey. Bliss ducks the kendo stick shot and tackles Bailey. Bliss unloads with the stick now. Bliss yells at Bailey to get up. Bailey manages to drop Bliss, but she can't get the pinfall. Bailey gets shoved face first into the stick. Bliss picks up the stick and nails her with it. Bliss with a snap DDT for an easy win. So Alexa Bliss retained. After the match, Bliss left with the title as Bailey recovered in the middle of the ring as we go to replays. Bliss stood tall on the stage with the title and the kendo stick in midair. Back from the break, we see some of the Baltimore Orioles at ringside dressed as WWE legends. We get hyped for tonight's Raw Tag Team title match as the steel cage is lowered over the ring. JoJo announces the rules as the cage is lowered. The only way to win is to have both members of the team escape and touch the floor. Cesaro and Sheamus were out first. Raw Tag Team Champions. The Hardys were out next as the delete chant starts up from the crowd. The bell rings and Cesaro and Sheamus try to escape, but the Hardys stop them. The door is open again. Jeff tries to escape. Cesaro climbs up, but Matt stops him. Jeff unloads on Sheamus while Matt works on Cesaro. Sheamus catches Jeff in an Irish curse backbreaker. They double team Jeff now. Cesaro and Sheamus stand tall before climbing the cage. The Hardys pull them back down. Jeff works on Sheamus while Cesaro worked on Matt. Cesaro and Jeff collide. Matt and Sheamus climb to the tops of the cage. Jeff pulls Sheamus while Cesaro goes after Matt. Sheamus gets crushed. Fan chant delete as Matt slams Cesaro's head into the steel a few times. The Hardys hit stereo drop kicks on the challengers. The door is open again. Jeff hits poetry in motion on his opponents. The Hardys climb the cage now. Sheamus and Cesaro stop them again. Matt ends up tossing Sheamus into the steel. He starts climbing in again. Cesaro climbs up, but Matt fights back. Matt's brought back down. Sheamus hits a rolling senton on him. The door is open again. Cesaro tosses Jeff into the steel. Matt stops Cesaro from exiting through the door. Matt gets double teamed and launched into the steel. Jeff fights off a double team and runs up to the top of the cage, and Cesaro stops him. More back and forth as Jeff avoids the bro kick at one point. Matt and Jeff finally climb at the same time, but the challenger stopped them. Jeff tries to drop to the floor, but Cesaro stops him. Jeff fights him off, drops to the floor himself. Jeff is now out of the match. Matt falls back into the ring, but hits a side effect on both opponents. Matt climbs up as fans and Jeff cheer him on. Cesaro stops him. Cesaro and Jeff have a tug of war for Matt. Sheamus joins in. Jeff falls to the floor. Sheamus and Cesaro slam Hardy Boy to the mat at the same time. Both Hardys at the same time. Jeff tried to re-enter through the door, but Cesaro stopped him. Jeff hit him with the door. Sheamus kicked the door into Jeff, and he goes down on the floor. Sheamus goes to leave through the door, but Matt stops him. Matt pulls Sheamus back in. Matt nails a twist of fate on Sheamus. Cesaro is climbing the cage now. Matt slams him to the mat. Matt climbs up and almost makes it over, but here comes Cesaro again. Cesaro with an uppercut while Matt is still laying on the top. Sheamus climbs up for a huge white noise from the top. With an assist from Cesaro, Jeff recovers on the floor and fans pop now. Jeff climbs to the top of the steel cage and nails whisper in the wind for a big pop. The finish sees Matt try to drag Jeff out of the door while Sheamus and Cesaro both climb out of the cage. Sheamus and Cesaro hit the floor first and win the titles. After the match, Cesaro and Sheamus celebrate with the titles at ringside as we go to replays. Video package of the Cruiserweight title match. How it's set up. Submission match for the Cruiserweight title. A double versus Neville Level. Back to the ring. Out comes Austin Aries. Pyro hits and out comes Cruiserweight champion Neville. We get back and forth action to start the match. Both pin attempts from both before Neville takes over for a few minutes. Neville applied Rings of Saturn at one point, but Aries escaped. Neville kept control and goes for another Rings of Saturn, but Aries recovers and Neville has Neville's own hold applied now. Aries argued with the referee. Aries turned it around to a super kick. Aries goes down. Aries ends up getting a guillotine applied on the top rope. This led to Aries hitting a sunset flip powerbomb. As Aries turns that into... Aries argues with the referee. Aries turns around to a super kick. Aries goes down. Ends up getting guillotine applied on the top rope. This led to Aries hitting a sunset flip powerbomb. Aries turned that into the last chancery. They go to the floor, but the hold is still locked. Neville tapped, but they're on the floor. They bring it back in, and Aries ends up hitting a discus 5-arm. Aries goes for a suicide dive. Nobody's home. The finish sees Neville bring it back in and hits the red arrow, holding it on to turn it into the Rings of Saturn. Winner of the match, Neville. After the match, we get replays as Aries looks on as Neville leaves with the title. The announcers lead us to a video for tonight's main event. Extreme Rules Fatal 5-Way to crown new #1 contender. And we got Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor. Back from the break, out first comes Bray Wyatt. Seth Rollins was out next. Winner of the match will go on to face Universal Champion Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Samoa Joe makes his way out next. Finn Balor was out next to a pop like Rollins. Roman Reigns was out last to a mixed reaction. They go at it first. Reigns with a big attempt early on. Balor and Reigns end up going at it. Reigns blocks a kick and drops Balor to the apron. On the apron. Rollins comes in to face off with Reigns as the fans pop. It ends up with Wyatt beating down Balor. Joe and Rollins go at it and end up on the floor. Balor comes back and drops Wyatt. Then stomps on him. Balor with a stomp to Rollins and Joe as well. Balor then runs the ropes and leaps out onto Joe, Wyatt, and Rollins. Reigns came over and dropped Balor as he stood tall as fans boo. Reigns knocks Balor into the barrier. Reigns slams Balor face first into the apron a few times. Wyatt tried to pull Reigns into the ring, but Reigns rocked him. Reigns went for a drive-by on to Wyatt, but Joe knocked him out of midair. Joe then worked over Reigns now and launched him into the barrier. Joe and Wyatt shared a laugh over Reigns as Wyatt hits Reigns and then Balor. The match continued with Joe and Wyatt double teaming everyone. They have Balor in the ring and now taking turns. Wyatt ends up dropping Rollins over the steel steps for the DDT. Balor unloaded on Joe in the ring. Balor fought out of a coquina clutch and hit the double stomp. Wyatt comes in with a steel chair to the back of Balor as Wyatt with a chair shot to Reigns now, sending him back out of the ring. Wyatt smiled and looked at Joe with the chair, but smacks Balor instead. Wyatt puts the chair over Joe and Wyatt share a laugh over Reigns. Wyatt hits Reigns and then Balor. Match continued with Joe and Wyatt double teaming everyone. They have Balor in the ring taking turns. Wyatt ends up dropping Rollins over the steel steps with a DDT. Balor unload. And on Joe in the ring now. Balor fought out of a coquina clutch and hits a double stomp. Wyatt comes into a steel chair to the back of Balor. Wyatt with a chair shot to Reigns, sending him back out of the ring. Wyatt smiled and looked at Joe with the chair, but smacked Balor instead. Wyatt put the chair over Balor and offered him to Joe. Joe runs the ropes and hits a senton. Joe places the chair over Balor. Now as Wyatt runs the ropes and nails a senton of his own. Balor fought Wyatt off and sent Joe into a wedge chair in the corner. Reigns comes back in it and nails a drive-by. Reigns with a 2 count on Balor, turning it into a big power bomb. Reigns with a clothesline on Joe. Fans boo offense by Reigns. Reigns unloads with clotheslines on Wyatt. Joe runs into Wyatt and Reigns moves. Reigns then drops Joe. Reigns with a kick and a clothesline to Wyatt. Wyatt ends up planting Reigns back onto the announce table. Fans chant one more time, but Wyatt climbs back to the apron. Rollins knocks him off. Then Rollins launches himself over to Joe on the corner. Rollins springboards in and nails Wyatt for a 2 count. As Rollins fights off Joe and Wyatt now. Rollins then nails a double blockbuster for a 2 count on Wyatt. Rollins ends up nailing a suicide dive onto Joe as Wyatt pushed Joe into the move. Wyatt brought Rollins back in and nailed a clothesline. Rollins hit a Falcon Arrow on Wyatt for a 2 count. Rollins gets on the apron. Rollins springboards in, but Wyatt catches him. Wyatt goes for Sister Abigail and hits it, but Joe breaks up the pinfall. Joe is angry for what happened on the floor during Rollins' dive. Wyatt tries to talk him down. Wyatt shoves Joe, but Joe fights back as they go at it. Joe with a running elbow and a kick in the corner for a 2 count. Wyatt goes on to launch himself into Joe. Wyatt turns upside down in the corner and taunted Joe. Wyatt goes for Sister Abigail, but it's blocked. Joe goes for a coquina clutch, but Balor breaks a hold with a chair shot. Balor near the chair shot for Joe and Wyatt. Balor double stomped on a chair on Wyatt. Balor drop kicked Reigns, knocking him from the apron to the floor. Balor with another big shot from the apron on Reigns. Balor runs out of the ring and drop kicks Wyatt into the barrier. A Balor drop kick for Joe as well. Balor lays Wyatt into the announce table a few times as Balor took apart another announce table. For a pop, Balor knocks Wyatt off the top of it, but Joe makes a save with a clutch from behind. Reigns runs over and spears Joe, and Balor through the barrier. Fan chant, holy crap. Rollins goes up top and nails a huge frog splash through Wyatt on the announce table. Another holy crap chant brought out from the crowd. We go to replays as fan chant, this is awesome. Now as Rollins and Reigns are back in the ring after some time. They face off as fans do dueling chants. Rollins unloads on Reigns, but Reigns rocks him with an uppercut. Rollins with a big right hand. Rollins at the clothesline and hits an overhead kick. Rollins goes to powerbomb, but is blocked. Reigns nails a Superman punch and covers Rollins for a 2 count. Reigns readies in the corner. Rollins counters and rolls him up for a 2 count. Rollins super kicks Reigns in the face for a 2 count. Rollins goes up top. Nails a frog splash on Reigns for another 2 count. Rollins goes to the top again, but it's slow to make it up. Rollins goes for a Phoenix Splash, but it has nowhere to roll through. White goes for Sister Abigail on Rollins, but has to stop when Reigns runs over. Reigns counters Sister Abigail and hits a spear. Rollins comes from behind. They trade moves. Rollins does a buckle bomb on Reigns, but Reigns comes right back with a Superman punch. Balor charges at Reigns, but Reigns nails a Superman punch instead. Reigns holds up for a minute. A mixed reaction. Balor nails Sling's blade and kicks Reigns into the corner. Balor goes up top and nails a coup de grace on Reigns, but Joe breaks up the pinfall with a clutch on Balor. Balor fades out and taps out. When a new number one contender, Samoa Joe, with the Coquina clutch. After the match, Joe gets to his feet, stand tall as the referee checks on Balor. Samoa Joe leaves the ring, heads up the ramp after go to replays. Joe celebrates on the stage as the others try to recover in and around the ring. Extreme Rules goes off in the air with the new number one contender standing tall. That's it for Extreme Rules pay-per-view results. Thanks again. Peace out. See you one on me. By the way, if you don't know, just call me brothers and sisters.